Okay, we're back. Okay. So we're reading the light print here on number Lamed Hay. And the light print says, so way over here, get some room. So he says, "Begavona v'yavor and his boyer the tevis v'yavor murkeves of these two words, which are av and raya, which are numbers, which is the number 288. V'charayo kolo, so the raya that we're talking about is composed of three different bechinos of av, ha'olam ha'raya. Now, did he say three different bechinas? He says, "Yishlosh bechinas ha'raya." V'kiber av rayo, so there's different kinds of ways to get to av, I guess is what he's saying. Ola b'kamispa rapach, it comes to gematria rapach, the biru rapach, it's a concept that what we're doing is we're finding out this rapach. The rapach netzutzim and the saknim agedera ha'ivor, which actually, because of the gestation which takes place, I'm assuming that we're talking about in the womb of Ima, let's see, but we'll find out if we need to. So al yedera ve'iver ayin sham biyosa arichos of beer. So there's more to be said. Let's just go to number Lamed Vav. Where's Lamed Vav? Okay, it's the next piece. Okay, so I wanted to go back and look at number Yud Tes in the Shefach Gavonos. So he says like this. Let's look at the light print. Yeshnam kamba bechinas avrayo. So more than one aspect of avrayo. V'hamor kan kavanaso lahamavur b'shar ma'mari rashbi. So the one that we're talking about here, particular something that was brought into Ma'amari, you can see it over there, Rashbi. And that was the al edraba. He said the harayo chem shlosha rabavayos the ab oilim rayo. So what is this? This is the rucha hanimshachas miyisod hazohar. Now let's get this back. Where he says the word rucha, right? Comes from the yisod of the zohar, the yisod ben hanuk. So we're not talking about abba bin ima. We're talking about zohar ben hanuk. So out of the zohar comes this rucha. This rucha extends into the yisod of the nuk, babia rishona, and the idea is that the Via Rishona is an Avrayo composed of these components. Be'ri Rishona v'zecha ba'aba v'ima. Now, and they come back. This is ba'aba v'ima, ba'acharucha. So let me stop here. So I'm contradicting myself. At first, I thought he was talking about gestation, which is in Abba v'ima. Then he seemed to be talking about the rucha, which is put into the nukva from Zeranpin. But now he said v'zechu ba'aba ve'ima. So the way that we see that the raya are composed of 372s plus ava harucha the zun he havaya the ben. It's a havaya the ben. And I believe that's in there first, that tag that we did, the first one we were working on. I think there's some things in here that there we have to see about the avrayos over there. And here is Avaya de Ben Shuhu Rayo Hatachdon, which is known as the lower Rayo. So we actually went through that a little bit. V'av ki Havaya de Av Shuhu Bebechinas Hatipa. Now, so this is what is the Av? He says it's a Havaya da'av, okay, which is a milui of Yudin. Shehu bechinas hatipa, and once again we're going back that the tipa and the word neshama are he used a little bit, but it's a tipa hanimshechas b'bia shnia. This comes from the bia shnia memenu notes of vlad, and from this is what actually forms the vlad. So I think he said that there are two different things. There's an avrayo that we have over here, which is basically composed of the 72s in the regular way. That he says has to do with Abba and Ima, and I guess it must be using the concept of ma, because now I'm thinking back of that first tag that we saw, and it had some of this in it. Va'av hi hovaya da'av shehi bebechinas hatipa. So the hovaya da'av is the bia nimshachet b'bia shnia that comes from the second bia, memena noitz of vlad. V'zecha v'sod v'yavor. This is the concept v'yavor avrayo. Av, is that Rav? U'mishnechem yachad noitzer vlad, and from the two of them together. So that is the yichud of the avrayo that's in the top, and the avrayo, which has to do with the name Ma. And the I should have it. I could just bring it up. I don't even have the sefer here next to me. It's by my bed. So I'll look at it, and Mitzvah Hashem, I'll be able to plug this back in there. Maybe it'll make more sense to me. But this is basically the concept of this avrayo, which is the gematria of rapach. Mishnechem yachad noitzach avlas of avlad. Valkain avrayo came gam siras of the name Ivor, because Ivor is conception. Okay, let's go to the next one. He said, "V'im dechaber avrayo." We're down in number kaf now. If we put the two of them together, yiyi b'gematria rapach. Because we said that. What's the Shimon Sasson has to say about this? The Shimon Sasson writes, a mavur, he says over there, "Shahan neshama hanotzeres." So when the neshama is created, kolula b'shtei bechinos. The neshama has two bechinos. One aspect of it, or he says one neshama, is actually comes out of the birurim. There are lights that coming out of the rapach, the shem ben ha'olim ben lamata, that are coming from the bottom to the top. They're coming from up above. We're bringing them up. And of course, if you look in the Rishash, you see a lot of this here, the avrayo that we're talking about. And this is the concept of what? The Shem Mahachodesh. This is the Mahachodesh. What is the Mahachodesh? This Avrayo Hashem and Sasa Bevor Shal Neshama no Service Kalula B'Shnei Bechinos Hein Bechinos Arapak the Shem Beben Ha'olim Belamada. So Ben is always at the very bottom. This is the concept of the Rapach that's coming up. And then there's also, that's one of them, and then the other one is a Mahachadash. Which is something new that's coming out. And you can see that this is the Zohar V'nuk kind of paradigm where she is needy. And she needs, and as a result of that, he's coming to bring the answer, which is this Ma. We saw somewhere else, it's interesting, the Mahachadash is a Gevura. So he said that. I just... okay, anyway, I just had that in my mind. So that we see, like, this is also the way the tikkun go. The shem ma. What is Mahachadash? Misachan the Biburich Rapach. The Ribah Rapach that we're talking about is coming from the Ben. V'chamshacha the Avrayo. So when you're now bringing up this Avrayo, Hanimshachas Mahamazla, what is this? The Mazla? That is the 8th and the 13th. Mebechinis Hashem Mahachodesh. So he says it comes from the Mazla. So he writes Mazla in singular. So I'm not sure what he means, but he says, let me just think of this again. B'hamshacha the Avrayo, this pouring out of this Avrayo, which is a Rapach. Hanimshechas Mahamazla. Where does the Avrayo come from? It comes from the Mazal. He mebechinas Hashem Mahachodesh. So that's Avraya is the Mahachodesh. So we'll look back at that. This is in other places in the Rishash, which I can't say that I knew what they were. So I just saw them. Let's go to number Lamed Vav. I guess we'll read it down below. Number Lamed Vav says V'zer v'sod pasav v'hine parach Mate Achron, the base Levi. So it blossomed. The staff of Avraham was from the house of Levi. Ki Achron hu Chesed, because let's understand, Avram is Chesed. The Chesed is the gematria of Av. The Levi hu Gevura. So you're combining the two of them together. Shehu begematria Rayo, because it comes out that Rayo was the gematria of Gevura. You add on to it a 72, and now you're mixing the two of them together. V'shnechem yachad begematria parach. They come like blossom, a flower. Shnei bechinus avarayo, he writes on his karam that we're mentioning over here. He says, as azah ha'av hu bebechinas chesed. Chesed begematria is av. V'arayo is bebechinas gevura, and gevura gematria rayo. The Shnei Bechinos Halalos, so we're talking about this. Nirmaz b'pasa v'hine parach mata Aaron the Beis Levi. Beis Levi is Lashon Gevura. Zechad the Aaron Romez the Av shechu bebechinas Chesed the HaKohanim Shorshim b'Chesed. So the Beis Levi has this Romez L'Harayo the Beis Levi shehu bechinas Gevura the Lavim Shorshim b'Gevura v'Shnechem Yachad Olam Rapach v'Zechad b'Parach, and that's the Rapach is Parach. I just think, how does a parach? He says that the phrase is "Zesod pasavihine parach." Parach is rapach mate achram. So he's saying, I think there's a little something going on here. So we'll look at number kaf aleph. He's saying that this is this is that which made the staff of Aaron blossom. So let's look down here in the light print if we can get something out of this. Bashar Halikutim, he writes, in number Kaf Aleph, I'm on. Number Kaf Aleph. He writes, Kosev Gam Kain in Yinzeh. So he goes into this too. V'sayim Shom, and he completes over there is what he's saying. He says, I guess he's quoting, V'koach Eloch Hashemos Parach Mate Ahron V'hamevin Yavin. So he says that these actually, the Bekoach Eloch Hashemos, these two, which is Avrayo, this is what causes the blossoming of the Mata Achron. And if you can understand this, then you understand it. Ad Kan Lashono. Now, I'm not sure for me, there would be a bit missing there for me to be able to just easily say how it is. I understand that Rapach is the concept of bringing up light from hidden places. And this is going on right after the Inyan of Korach. But there's more to this than meets the eye. So Rabbi Shem and Sasan, now the Shem and Sasan writes like this, Al Pihan Bavura B'divra Maska L'Koidim, Sha'av Rayach HaNimshach Melamalo. So that one which is coming from up above, and here he comes back to say what he said previously, this Avrayo that we're talking about is the Mahachodesh HaYored Belamal. So remember that we saw someplace before that, like I said, that the Mahachodesh is a Gevura. So here he's saying it's a combination of Chesed and Gevura that's coming from up above. And because this comes down, this Rapach, or this Parach, Bechinas Rapach, the Shem Ben Ha'olam Belamata. So this is what's coming up. Let me just get this of a koch there. Parach Bechinas Rapach. So the Rapach is going to blossom. So he's thinking of the Shem. What Rapach is? It the Shem Ben, which is the Ben, of course, of Man Ha'olam Belamata, which is coming up from down below. Now there's another one. I don't know if we got to this yet. So we're really going to have to go to number Lamed Zion. How much more time do we have here? Oh, we have a little more time. Okay, so let's look over here. Number Lamed Zion in the Rav. Where are you? There you are. So this has some arichos in the language of the Rav. He says, Gam bezech besod v'ruach el elokim marachapes. Now you can see the word rachap right in the middle of that. So he said, "V'hi mila murkeves mishtei tevos." One is mace and the other one is rapach. Now that sounds like you're trying to kill the rapach. V'osios mace ain't bebrosha tevos of v'sofi tevos. So the first letters and the last letters, and we see this concept of the first letters and the last letters here. He said, "V'sofi tevos v'osios rapach" are in the middle. Him mceos. These are the middle letters. These are the mceos shebein osios mace that are found in between that. So now you have the word mace rapach. V'hu inyan klipas noga. So this is the concept of the klipas noga. So I just had to look up the word noga, which means bright and shining like that. So the nature, and you could talk about it a little bit. He said the nature of the klipa noga is that it's seductive because it looks like something really, really great. To think about all the things that go on in the world that people get sucked into as a result that they look so good. So inyan klipas noga hanikras b'shem ruach elokim marachapes. So here he says that, let's just get this right, the klipa noga goes along with the phrase ruach elokim, Just those two. Those ruach elokim. Elokim is lashon din. Merachefes. So over there we say it's like hovering around. Hanikras noga v'karinim ruach elokim, and so also the nikras, and it also has another name. So in some places we'll see this name ruach elokim, and the ruach elokim is refers to the klipa noga. So he says osa hatipa yonah shel haneshama hanimshechas v'yored min rapach ha'elyon. So it comes down from the upper rapach. I'm not sure which, getting mixed up because we talk about rapach meaning coming upwards instead of downwards, but he says here, v'yored min rapach elyon. So what would that be? That's avrayo. Okay, now that's a rapach elyon. Shehem chavavayas in this keren la'el, which is the chavayas we mentioned up above, shel chavdas elyon nikra mazlo. Hine nimshechet b'makom amisa. It comes nimshechet la makom amika. It comes. Where does this avrayo, which is the rapach from up above? He says nimshechet the makom amisa, the place of death. Kenizke the ela we mentioned of be'inyan avon hamotzer shvich zer levatala, which we mentioned. What happened is you're you're causing the death of new life. So it comes like this. The rapach winds itself entering in the middle of the misa shem osius mei shal marchepes. So let's see how he wants to say. Let me get a little drink, so I'm going to clear my throat a little bit here. So he says, "V'hine." So he said, "V'hine nizboyer shechatipa nimshechas bebechinas rapach elyon," which is the names avrayo. Gam nizboyer la'el. So this is where what comes the tipa. The tipa, he said before, is the same word as the word neshama. So those are the panemius of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu is coming through this. Gam nizboyer la'el the kali noga. So this bright, enticing kali. He hamafate la'adam la'chek hotzias shrich zera rachman levatala rachman l'tzlam. So he says this is the one. Va'al yedera be'heid zeh, that show this chet. He said nimshechas hatipa. This through this chet is where this tipa is coming from. That is the tipa wants to win. He wants to say a tipa is another word for neshama. Lamakom makali, into the place like other shulchan, but makom amisa, it's the place of death. So we take it this avrayo. As a result of the klipa noga, which he says is ruach elokim, gets enticed into this and seduced into this, and it winding up in the kali. So the concept of ruach elokim marachafes. This is the secret of the concept of this ruach elokim, which we said is the klipa noga. It's hovering around. It's around there. The kali noga nikras ruach elokim. Oh, he sends it again. Vayim b'sheva gavonis. We'll look at it. Mamshicha es haneshama lemakom hamisa. It actually pulls the neshama into the place of death. So the base of the death is the klipa. V'inyan zecha b'nibra b'tevs marachefes. So how do you see this word marachefes? Well, look in there. Marachefes is the word mace rachab. So he says shehi or rapach shehi osius mace baroch v'sof tevos. Ubesocham osius rapach. And the most, what's it trying to teach us? Shehamshicha es neshama shehi bebechinas rapach. So the flowing of this neshama. So he says from up above, you're able to pull out. I still need more clarification about. I was thinking that rapach is coming from ben. He's saying that, which means from the bottom to the top. He's saying this one, however, is a rapach that's coming from the top to the bottom. So how does that work? The self bechinas and mitzah. So you bring it into bechinas and mitzah, makom hakali, which is the place of the kali. Now we have out of time. So there's a lot. There's more here, and I hope to be able to get a chance to. Are you still there, Rabbi? Well, you were there. Anyway, this is the end of the shir today. This is Baruch Fleischman, and you're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.